Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shortcuts for Your Soul. If you're here for the first time, I want to welcome you. I also want to say thank you to my Patreons last night for our live event. That was amazing. Thank you guys for joining us with Archangel Raphael and the healing feeling. It was pretty amazing watching how amazing it is when beings that have a greater potential than us align to us deliberately. When we align ourselves to the energy of higher vibrational consciousness, it is literally life-changing. And which leads us today, my guardian angel John was talking about freedom. And what is freedom really? What is freedom really? Freedom is this is what he's defined it as being aware that you are not subjective to conditions of mind or matter, but that conditions of mind and matter are subjective to you. In other words, this world, your thoughts, your emotions surrender to you. You do not surrender to them. And we currently live in a global culture that has this illusion that you just have to feel the way you feel, that you have no control over your feelings. And John said, this is nonsense. You have to stop this stupid nonsense that you can't control your emotions or that you can't control your thoughts. That is the biggest lie that is fed to people every day. You can't control how you react. You can't control what you think. That is the biggest lie that you've been taught. And I know that from personal experience because I was taught that lie too. And we're going to get into this in greater detail, how to break free from the lie. How to break free from the lie that you have no ability to alter, change, or control your mind, your thoughts, and therefore your world. Because when you can control your mind, you will be able to control matter. And it's not some mystical thing where you're going to create fireballs out of your hand, although there's dimensions where that is possible. But that's not likely to happen because you have to establish a level of awareness and clarity in terms of your relationship over matter, time, and space, which very few of you have. Very few of us have. And we all have it in varying degrees. But getting to the place where you are intentionally able to choose your thoughts, choose your emotions, and therefore become a deliberate effector of time, space, and matter. You're imprisoned to the world. There we go. For those of you that are coming on, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel if you're new. Click on the notification bell to receive notifications when we go live again. And subscribe to the channel. Wonderful. Good morning, Animo. Good morning, Patricia. So you are free. This is what he said to me this morning. He said, William, you are free. I woke up and I generally wake up really upbeat every morning. I love to get out of bed in the morning. And yet he said, you're free. And I said, what do you mean I'm free? And then he said, you're free when you don't have a thinking mind greeting you in the morning, but you have the joy of being. So when you open your eyes in the morning, what happens in your mind? Do you suddenly grab onto every thought, every memory, every feeling? Do you suddenly grab on to those things? Because when you grab onto the things in your mind before you open your eyes and feel just the joy of being, you're going to be re-entrapped in your mind. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. And so he said, so being free in those first few moments of the morning to literally let your mind be quiet and still and just take in the fact that you are existing. Hello, South Africa. That you are existing. That you are free. It's an amazing thing when you believe that your thoughts, or you believe what's going on in your mind. I want to tell you something. Most of what's going on in your mind, you did not even choose, and you are not even choosing it. Most of what is going on in your mind, you haven't even chosen it. It was given to you. And once you start to realize that most of the thoughts in your mind aren't even yours, that's when you begin to move deliberately towards freedom. Freedom isn't something somebody else is going to give you. It's something you already inherently are. You are free. Hello, North Georgia. You are free. once you know that the thoughts in your mind are not who you are. So I'm lying there and I'm just letting the thoughts get no attention from me. I'm just opening my eyes and feeling my being connected into this world through this body, and just feeling. And do this tomorrow morning. Make a choice to not give any of your thoughts attention. Don't give any thoughts any attention. You can even do this right now. Take your attention away from the thoughts in your mind, the memories, the things about your concerns about the future, and just be in this moment. That's what he told me to do. So I did that. I literally just sat there for 15 minutes, just lying there, just in the bliss of being. And there's a level of freedom that every one of us naturally exists in. And it's freedom to choose what you're going to give your attention to, not what's going to pull your attention, that TV or that person or that distraction or that fire engine, that car, or that bird. No, the freedom to be aware without being pulled into something. So lying there this morning and just feeling that bliss of being, I'm just aware. And I'm aware of all the sounds and the things. I'm aware of them, but I'm not captured by any one of them. It's like there's a connection that you suddenly become aware of when you allow yourself to just be aware without being distracted by that thought, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. Just awaken in the morning. Do not let your attention go on any thoughts about what you're supposed to do or when you're supposed to do it. And set a timer for 7 minutes. You just lie being aware. Now, some of you are going to find this really hard. And the reason he says you're going to find this very hard is because you are so used to thinking that is your life, those thoughts, those memories, the fears you have about the future. You are so used to believing that that is your life, you are imprisoned by that distraction. That is not your life. Your thoughts are not your life. You are your life. And to liberate yourself from the thoughts, to liberate yourself from the memories, to liberate yourself even for a few minutes every morning or throughout the day, just stop and just be aware of being aware. And I'll tell you, so for 7 to 9 minutes, I just laid there just indulging in that, just feeling my connection to everything. And that's what happens. When you stop being distracted by any one thought or group of thoughts, you liberate yourself to be more aware. So there's an advantage in being thoughtless. Being thoughtless means you are less distracted. You are more present. And isn't that a wonderful thing? One of the reasons that so many of you enjoy coming here is because it takes your attention away from what you're so familiar with that's keeping you imprisoned. You don't simply come here for the show. You come here to be liberated, to be reminded, or we should say unminded, that your thoughts do not have to encapture you. There are ideas and thoughts that will expand you, and there are ideas and thoughts that will contract you. And you are seeking freedom in all of your pursuits. In all of your pursuits, whether it is here or elsewhere, all of your pursuits is to return to what you are in this moment. To what you are in this moment, which is you are freedom. To be free does not mean to be divested of what your thoughts are, but to not be encaptured by them at the behest of them. In other words, your thoughts and your emotions no longer trap you, for you then have choice over them. Freedom of choice. Freedom of choice is the freedom to create. So the thought that you might have a terrible day at work today, you hope it's not another one of those days, that is a thought that will enslave you. It will not make you feel free. And what thoughts make you feel free? What thoughts make you feel free? What's it like to have no thoughts? Have you ever tried this? To have no thought? To have absolutely no thought. How does it feel? Can you do it? It can be done. There are many doing it on this planet. This whole ascension process that is unfolding right now is about becoming free of matter, time and space in order to orchestrate transformation and change through it. Can you stop your thoughts and breathe and feel the relationship that single breath allows you to experience with all else that is? Can you allow the stillness to fill your mind so intimately that you are in all points of time and space, free to be in any one of them and all of them? Yes. This process of being free has to be articulated deliberately and consciously. For some of you, we have had contracts. This one we had a contract with for many, many lifetimes. But in this one particularly, we had a contract that he was going to be where he is right now. And there were times where he deviated so far from that. And we spoke to him, and we communicated, and we intervened, and we gave him new directions. We had a contract. He had agreed to this. And as he began to remember his agreement to be and do what he is, freedom emerged and his will was restored. His freedom of choice of what he would give attention to and what he wouldn't give attention to. The freedom to recognize the value of life. To recognize the value of your life is the ultimate freedom. For there is no price in an infinite expression of your being. There's no price in that. For you cannot purchase that experience of being free. You can simply, with a thought, encapsulate this whole world into your consciousness. You can deliberately encapsulate this entire planet in your consciousness. And when you do that, you are free. You are free by the very nature of encompassing that which would appear physically greater than you are in the very nature of your own consciousness. There is no great, there is no small, but your thinking and believing makes it so. Is it not a pleasant feeling and an awareness to expand yourself, to literally hold this beautiful living orb you call Gaia, you call Earth, you call home, you call matter, to hold that lovingly in your awareness? How does that feel? You're not distracted by the day's things or one individual problem. You're literally encompassing it all within you. And the nature of what you are is so wondrous that that simple act of delightfully encompassing this earth in your consciousness liberates you and imparts that to the earth and those others who need that vibration of freedom. So take some time to remember your freedom from your thoughts today. Take some time to be what you are. So I'm lying there, and there is a certain feeling that comes in that first few moments of your day, that if you choose to say, I'm not going to let my mind go into the day, I'm not going to let my mind distract me from the moment. I'm just going to be aware that I am alive in this moment, and spend a few minutes of your time before you get out of bed just being aware that you are aware. Your mind is going to compete with you. It's going to want to pull you into this and pull you into that memory and tell you what you're supposed to get. Stop it. Don't let your mind imprison you anymore. This is about being free. You must get free from your thoughts so that you can be free to create something new in your life and offer something new to this world, which every single one of us came to do. We all came to offer something that this world did not have, that only you can give it. Hello, Florida. that you have something to offer this world that no one else can give it. But in order to know that, you have to be free of everything that is not that. And so you must carve that space out in your consciousness. Before you even get out of that bed, when your eyes open, just be aware of being aware. Let your awareness expand out and feel your connection to all things. Without thought, your mind will hear the trucks or the cars or the planes or the winds. Your mind will tell you that it might be snowing. Do not be distracted by all that. Just be aware. And if thought tries to pull you into this limited framework of who you think you are, say, no, not for this time. I'm going to be free. And the more you give this to yourself, the more you will give this to yourself. Good morning. Yes. And so when we offer these ideas to you, it's not simply ideas or information. This is information that needs to be translated into your experience of it. It needs to be translated into your experience of it. What is being free? Well, you don't have to be free. You are free. It's the nature of what you are as a soul, spirit of universal light. You are free by nature. You are free. You can be encaptured by the body, which we all are to some degree. You can be encaptured by the information this world has given you through your 5 physical senses. But you can also be free of it. I've got tons of information in my mind, and not to mention when they're always communicating with me. And you learn to not be distracted by it. You learn to be aware of it. And as you raise your vibration, as you begin to liberate yourself from being subjective to body, subjective to thought, and subjective to the emotions that are generated from those thoughts that you've been given. Remember, most of your thoughts aren't even yours. Most of the thoughts that are in your head aren't even yours. They've been given to you. You know, how to sit, how to stand, how to walk, how to talk. They were given to you. What you should watch, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, how you should stand, how you should sit. They were given to you. And it's your freedom depends on your ability to analyze what you've been given and if it is suitable for your house. Is it suitable for what you can create? If you think you are no good, if you think you can't accomplish something, that is not good for you. That is not going to free you. If you think that nobody loves you, your feet are cold, that is not going to free you. So you must become conscious of what thoughts give you greater freedom. You must become conscious of what things you can give to your body that will give it greater freedom, greater vitality, greater health. You can do this. You know you can do this. Wow. So you are free. It's what you are. It's not something your government's going to give to you. It's not something money's going to give to you. It's not something that your mother or father can give to you, although they can offer you ideas and information that will expand you and make you feel more creative and more free. People that really love us will always impart ideas and thoughts that allow us to be greater, more of what we can be, more expressive, more creative, more loving, more compassionate, more kind. That's freedom in another form. But you're always free. So we're going to do some questioning here. I want to say good morning again to everybody. It's so great to see you all here. You are free. It is a delightful thing. It is so delicious to literally open your eyes in the morning, to just know that your mind, when you take your attention, your mind says, oh, I better get up, I better do it. And you say, no, we're going to relax. We're going to expand. We're going to feel that we are part of a greater consciousness, that I'm not limited to just these thoughts, to just this life that I'm existing in that physical body. I am more than this. And as you go into that deliciousness, as you allow yourself to feel that, and like really, really pull your attention away from your thoughts. You can do it with your breath, you know. You can take a simple breath and pull your attention away from your thoughts. And it is so delicious, especially when you've had thoughts that are fearful or angry or depressing or frightened. And you pull your attention away from that and you get to actually feel relief. The Savior is within you. That which will save you is within you. So freedom. Let's look at freedom here. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Lauren. Question for Lauren. What can I do today to help reduce tension between David and myself? Great question. The first thing to do is to breathe, because your body is holding that tension in it and your mind is focused upon it. If you identify a feeling of peace and freedom in yourself, a feeling of joy and satisfaction in relation to this one, right now, take your attention off the idea of tension. Use your breath, expand your awareness beyond the confines of that imprisoning thought. The very nature of the thought imprisons you to the experience. And so breathe and pull your attention away from that thought. Expand your awareness out and make a decision to expand your awareness out lovingly to this one and others. Make a decision to expand your awareness out lovingly to this one and others. And rest in the expansion of your being. For now you are literally moving your awareness beyond the confines of this individualized form with its individualized constructed thoughts. And as you move your awareness beyond them, you move into freedom. Only you can do this. You can move your awareness beyond the thoughts, beyond the body. Do this right now. Breathe. Move yourself beyond the idea of tension. Move yourself into the idea of love and expansion. You'll feel the difference immediately. There's no doubt in our minds. We know what will happen. And you'll experience it. And please, tell others, for they need to know as well. It is not enough for us to simply say these things to you, but it is for you to be able to say that these things are true from your experience. That you have not only heard them, but you know they are true from your experience. Others need to know this. Others need to know this. Thank you, Lauren. It's a great question. So getting to this place where you know you are free has to be chosen consciously. It will not happen automatically. It has to be a choice. You are free to suffer. You are free to be free. You have been given absolute freedom to suffer or love as you see fit. You are free to choose this. This is a free will zone. You get to reap the effects of your causes as much as you get to reap the effects of the causes that have been placed into you by others, intentionally or not. But you are always free when you know you have the choice to take your attention away from suffering. Even if you might feel your suffering is because of somebody out there, the minute you take your attention off the energy of suffering, the idea of suffering, the fear, the minute you take your attention, you begin to liberate yourself from it. What you are giving your light, your attention to, because you are light, and what you give your attention to, you feed it into existence. Just as you can take the life from it, you can give life to it. You are made in the image and life of the Creator, which says, I, the Lord thy God, give life and taketh life. So you can give life to suffering, you can give life to joy. You can give life to pain, you can give life to compassion. You are free to do this. But do not wait for somebody else to do it for you. It will never happen. You'll experience limited freedom compared to what you truly are in your own right. So be willing to pull your attention from that. Question from Tanya. My body is so sensitive to the high energies that I sometimes feel like I'm being ripped apart. Why do I have such strong sensations, and how do I go along with it? Your description of this condition certainly illustrates that your perception needs to alter. If your perception is that I am receiving vast amounts of energy that I can convert into a vibrational state of love, I choose to feel this energy and generate a vibrational condition of love in my body and in the space around my body. You can make this decision that this is simply energy that you are receiving to transmute. Much the same way you can receive air when you breathe in, so too can you receive thought in the same fashion. And you can correct thought. You can alter your breath. You can alter what you receive. You can change what you receive. So when you feel this sensation, this perception of overwhelmment, shift your awareness, expand your awareness out, and encompass that with an intentional vibration of love. Can you do this? Of course you can. It's not about going along with it. Yeah. He's saying it's not about going along with it. It's about recognizing that you are the creator of things in your life. All of us are. You are the creator of all things in your life. And so you receive this energy as a creative substance. It matters not if it is anger or fear that comes towards you. It is how you utilize it intentionally and creatively. The example they often give to us is, take this glass of water and you put this glass of water in the freezer, and you think of this water as emotion. I put this glass of water in the freezer. The temperature of cold acts upon this water and turns it to ice. The water doesn't have to do anything, but what acts upon the water, what reacts upon the water, is what changes it. So you could take that now ice water out of the freezer and you can put it into a pot and you turn the heat up on the pot. And now the heat acting upon the ice transforms the ice back into water. You can increase the heat even more, and it is acting upon the water. And emotion is the water of creation in this world. Emotion is the water of creation in this world. And so what you act upon it with will alter it and change it. If you are looking at your emotion as fear and it's scary, then it shall be so. If you say, I'm going to transform this with a vibration of love, I'm going to change this substance with my intention of love, you will feel the energy, the emotion, the substance, the water begin to change and transform into the image of that which you imbue it with intentionally. And this is freedom to choose. This is your freedom. I am asking a question. What about depression upon awakening in the morning? Specifically the ongoing nature of it over and over despite my efforts using clearing practices. Okay, there's your, I'm going to share your depression with you. Okay, here's my depression. I open my eyes and there it is right in front of me. Oh, I can feel it. I can see it, right? And it distorts things. Can you see how it distorts things? And so now I'm looking at it. I'm aware of it. The moment I am aware of it, I am creator. I turn to this now and I say, I love you, honor you, and respect you, even if I do not understand you. You can do this right now. Feel your depression. Go into it. We know you know. Go into it and communicate your love and compassion and kindness to it and watch it change. Watch the action of your intention alter that substance within you in the moment. Still the waters. It is with love that you still the waters. It will obey you if you stay with it. Even now, if you stay with it with love and compassion, I don't understand why you are in this state, but I'm willing to love you, honor you, and cherish you. And you stay with that energy that you give to it. It is like the temperature in the freezer acting upon it. The substance itself need do nothing. It's what you impart to it that causes it to transform. And isn't that what you're asking for? Freedom? The freedom to create and change and alter substance in this world. In this case, the energy of your depression maintains and is connected to certain conditions in your world. And so you believe that the conditions in the world and your depression are connected and they cannot change them because they remain the same. But when you change the way in which you interact with them, they will change. Do this right now. And share with us. Share with us what changes for you. Let others know. For your lesson is their lesson. Thank you, I am. I really appreciate that. You're welcome, Tanya. Yeah, John. The first time I ever experienced John, and I knew it was something wondrous, but I was too disturbed emotionally at that time. I was like 20 years old. I was literally standing on a bridge here in Toronto, ready to jump off, and and he spoke to me and said, "Don't jump." Well, I'm literally standing on the edge of this bridge, and my foot's ready to go out. It's called the Bloor Viaduct here in Toronto, and he just literally said, "Don't jump." And I pulled my foot back, and I stopped, and I look around, and there's nobody there. And he says, "Get off the bridge, go to the payphone, call this phone number, and ask for this man." That's the first time I heard John's voice. And it wasn't for many years later that I began to remember that. But my guides and angels have been watching me diligently. They're with all of us. That's why you're still in existence, because if you've had a really difficult upbringing, then I can promise you they've been guiding you. You've got a contract that you've got other beings supporting you, including other humans that are in physical form. But these are beautiful beings. We all have a guardian angel. We all have a guardian angel. We all have masters, multidimensional beings that you have contracts with. That if you ask for their guidance and support, as you're doing right now, you'll receive it. Especially when you're asking to be free, because it's what your nature is. And the minute you ask for the very thing that is in alignment with who you are, you will receive it. One way or another. You're welcome. Question from Danielle. How am I doing on my spiritual growth? Any message for me? Deepest gratitude for my life now. I'm not sure what it's like. A note. There's a note for you. Note. What is the note? Be still. Be very still. And smile. In that instant of the smile, you will feel who I am with you. Be very still, and smile. And feel in that moment who I am with you. And that moment is freedom. The awareness of something more than what you know, but exactly what you need. Interesting. Thank you, Daniel. Diane is asking, "Hi, William. Has Jesus got any advice for me regarding my son? Thank you so much, and much love and blessings." Yes. There is a sorrow that you must not carry in your heart. There is a sorrow that stands between the love that your son requires. It is best to remember your love and not your sorrow, your faith and not your fear, your joy and not your sadness. Remember how you felt when you first held him during his first steps. Remember the love. Do not let your fear take its place ever again, but let only love cause your words and your actions, even your thoughts towards this one. For even if he is not in your presence, you are still with him, as I am with you. Remember, love, your love, the love. Let all things come from this. You know of what I speak, for you can feel it. You can feel it as deliciously now as you did then, for it is always now. This love, this awareness of greater self, of being more. Be this in thought with him. Whether he is with you or not, be this in your heart with him. Be that love that is the mother. Even if you are uncertain while he goes through this transition is where he will find his freedom. have the faith and confidence in him. Let him know from love, not from fear, that whatever he's doing, give him your trust. This sounds the reverse of what many of you have been taught. But it is love. The vibration of love transcends all fear. But please, whether you are in his presence or not, do not harbor any fear of him, for this is the lie. This imprisons both you and him to suffering. Love is freedom. You know this. You remember the bliss of it. Thank you. Wow, thank you for that question. Feeling that vibration of love that a mother feels and a father can feel, but mothers particularly, the love that you innately have, that you're born with that ability. You came in to experience that level of intimacy. Yes, Gaia says this too, as she feels that she has the same relationship to humanity that a human mother has to individual children as well. That feeling of love, that we get so caught up in the training that we've been given, we forget that love, the very nature of the vibration of love, alters behavior, alters what we say, how we say it, whereas the vibration of fear organizes behavior in a manner very differently towards our children. And remember the love. Remember whenever you're going to approach your child, approach them from that perspective of you're holding them in your arms for the very first time. Or you're helping them take their first step and what that felt like. Just because they are older and fighting for an identity that they're trying to remember, you're still there to help them to walk. Remember that level of mindfulness, that level of care, that level of compassion that is innate to you. And let that be your guide with your children. Thank you so much. Question from Tanya. I fell from a mountain with my car 20 years ago, but was stopped in the fall. Heard a clear voice that told me to go slower. Who was that? My guardian angel? My grandmother? Always wondered. In that case, it was both. It was not either or. That both of them had to come together for you to hear them. Both of you had to come together for you to hear them, because you were in a very different place then, emotionally and energetically, that they had to combine their energies to create enough amplitude so they could break through your mindset at that time to get you to hear them. Your grandmother's very sweet. Very, very sweet. A question from Emma. Is everybody getting, though, the concept of freedom? Yes. He wants me to reiterate, please understand, this idea of freedom is not something to be sought, to be given to you from this world. It's the nature of what you are. It is the nature of what you are. The freedom to choose over one thought, one idea, one emotion, one thing or another. The freedom to choose is what you are. You are that freedom. And what you will choose and what you will not choose will either expand your freedom or liberate it. And you can know this, for if you are being more free, you will feel greater joy. You will feel greater liberation. I hope you guys do the thing that he suggested earlier in the morning. Tomorrow morning when you get up, even after, and now just stop letting your mind think and just let your awareness expand out, right? And feel that. Is there anything I can do to help myself as I am going through grief of losing my dad? I'm trying to take long walks and calling and healing, but I'm still having a very hard time and no appetite. Emma, thank you so much for that question. There's a couple of things you need to know about your dad. First of all, your dad is not dead. He just does not have a physical mechanism of expression. One of the things he's saying is it's time for you to expand. It's time for you to open up to others. There are others that can come into your life now. there are others that you can receive. There's a level of intimacy that we shared that does not have to be limited to me exclusively. You no longer have to limit your love to me exclusively. Let it expand and open up to others that are willing to give you greater opportunity, a love equal to or greater than ours. Yeah, he's saying, I don't know why. He's showing me this bouquet of flowers. I do not know why, but he's showing me this bouquet of like roses. He's saying it's a symbol that represents his love to you, whether in body or not. Yes. The other thing you want to realize, when someone leaves, I'm going to explain this because when they come through like that, it's important to understand the body is an instrument through which we communicate. Like the sound waves coming out of this physical body the sound is not who I am. It's an effect of what I'm transmitting through form. As is true for all of you. Every word you speak, every action is something that you're communicating through the form. When the form ceases to exist, that means you don't have a physical mechanism to express through, but that does not mean that you cannot or do not exist. You still exist. It's like if I take two radio sets beside each other and they're playing the same station and we hear them like they're in stereo, and all of a sudden I take a hammer and I smash one and we still hear the other one playing that station. Well, just because the other one is broken doesn't mean the signal is lost. It just means that mechanism is not there to transmute it or transmit it. So the body is a transmitting and receiving station. It can transmit information from where you are in consciousness, and you can receive information through the 5 physical senses to your consciousness. But when you start to realize that your dad, your grandmother, the beings that you cherish most that aren't in their physical bodies, have not ceased to exist. They have ceased to have a physical medium of expression. One of the reasons we teach the mediumship courses is to get people aware of this fact, to become aware that the body is just a medium for information to move through and back and forth through. But you can access different levels of awareness that can let you tap back into those individuals. They still exist. You just have to learn to retune your awareness to a different frequency than the frequency of sound waves and light waves. You can learn to reattune your perceptual ability to perceive more than your eyes can see and your ears hear. Master Jesus says this repeatedly. It cannot be overstated. You have eyes but cannot see and ears that cannot hear. And he's referring to something very specific. You have to learn to see with your inner eye, your internal perceptions, your awareness that can hear and see without eyes and ears. In Eastern mysticism, they call it the third eye. And one of the things we focus on getting people to do is to become aware that you have these senses. Everyone does. You have these senses of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, and you can learn to open them up and use them, right? Some people call it intuition. Some people call it a gut feeling. Doesn't matter what you call it. Everyone is born with those senses, albeit most people never get the opportunity or the systems in place to help them to develop it. You've learned to develop your 5 physical senses very well, but you have these internal senses that need attention. Children have them fully intact. All the equipment, that's why children can see things and hear things that we don't see and hear, because they're not blocked, they're not limited, they're not compressed down to thinking the body is the only source of perceptual identification. And so we teach these courses to liberate people back to these other clairs that let you adjust your awareness. You can tap into your dad. You know, he's right behind you right now. You know, if you're willing to tap in that, he's right behind you. You can feel his energy. If you try to see his physical body, it's not there. You can see an astral body if you can adjust your perception enough. Just like some people can see auras, you can see the astral projection of a form. Anyway, death is an illusion of matter, but it is not the truth of who and what you are as a being. If you want to know more about our courses and classes, you can go to our my website, williammichaelforbes.com. We've got our classes and courses, the winter season starting February the 13th. You can go and register on my website, and we'd love to have you. It's an amazing thing. Yes. Oh, you're very welcome. Question from Teresa. I've been having anxiety and chest pain. Is that from 2 things? You need to drink more water. You need to drink more water. Number one. Number two, yes, they're saying drink at least an additional 1.5 to 2 liters of water a day. Or what in America you might call it a quart to 1.5 quarts a day of additional water. You'll find that the constrictions here are going to stop. The anxiety is natural. When your body is under stress, it's going to communicate in the only way it can. Your body is limited in its capability to communicate its needs to you. It can tell you when it's hungry. It can tell you when it's thirsty. But most people have been conditioned to drink caffeine and alcohol, things that disconnect them from the natural body's ability to tell you when it's really thirsty. And we explain all that in our Mediumship 101 course, proper eating, proper diet, the things that are going to help you become more aware of how you can attune your body to a finer way of being. But once you start to give your body what it needs, that anxiety is going to dissipate. But your body's dehydrated. You need to rehydrate it. The anxiety, let the anxiety know. Remember, your body can communicate with you only through fight or flight. And there's certain specific emotions that are in alignment with fight or flight. Anxiety and fear are those emotions that the body uses to prepare itself. Something's going on. So if it's feeling dehydrated, if it's feeling not properly fed, if it's feeling overstressed, it's going to communicate with you in the only way it knows how to. And most people on the planet right now are chronically dehydrated. A lot of people that are struggling with obesity are overeating because their body's been conditioned to try and get certain feelings from the food that the individual hasn't trained. You haven't given the body enough love. So the body's trying to get a feeling of well-being in whatever way it can. People that drink a lot of alcohol do this because they're chronically dehydrated and the body's trying to get water. That's the only way they get a feeling of good from the stuff, but it doesn't hydrate. It doesn't work. Anyway, that's all course material we're getting into now. Thank you. Okay, I got it. I got time for a couple more questions, and then yes, 3 more questions. He says, not a couple. Question from Sanyukta. Would like guidance on finding a place out of the city. Thank you. The first words they're throwing at me to you is northwest, and the number's 2, and I think it means 2 degrees. I don't know what that means. 2 degrees northwest. I don't know where that is and where you are, but that's the first thing they communicate to me. 2 degrees northwest. Wow, cool. Question from Animo. Is there guidance to achieve greater freedom over the earthly senses, specifically the libido? This is a great question. And remember, the energy of your libido. The energy of your libido is highly potent, creative source energy. It's the energy that wants to make a new body. And there's souls that want to come into your life. There are souls that want to come into your life. But to utilize that energy differently, yes, you can literally draw that energy out of the physical systems. You can literally draw that energy up to the body. You can draw it up from the body, up to your higher centers for creation. You can literally draw that. When you feel that urge, that energy, tighten everything down below, up, and breathe. Breathe that energy up. Breathe it up high until you can breathe it up into the top of your head. And just hold that energy there. And then consider what you want to alter or change in your world and in your mind from that energy being up here instead of down here. If you give it attention down here, then it will express down here as sex, self-pleasuring. That's how to do that. But you can draw it up and have it expressed very differently in a creative fashion other than making babies. Okay, thank you. Great question. Thank you, John. I love that answer. One more question from Tanya. Any message from my grandma, Lena, or my granddad, Herbert? She's just saying something about a brooch. Approach. Okay. They're saying, give them permission to approach. Give them permission to approach you. Yes. Allow yourself to feel and not think. And in that, give us permission to approach you. Yes. In that awareness of our presence, you will be reminded of more of what we envisioned, what we saw, what we know, and what you must remember about yourself now. Let us approach that you may feel. Thank you. Please let us know what occurs. Here's our third and final question. Thank you, Faradiba. Faradiba, yeah. Sorry if I'm not getting your name right. I keep seeing an Aboriginal elder. Does he have a specific message for me? Dance. He's saying dance in the circle. I don't know. I mean, he's saying dance in the circle. Very clearly, and he's motioning in a clockwise direction. 3 times in a clockwise direction. Yes. Pause, and then 3 times again, times 3. So do this 3 times. Yes. So I don't know if you have a dance circle that you have or anything like that, but he's saying to dance 3 times, in clockwise direction 3 times. Pause at the end of each third, and do that 3 times. Wow. Anyway, thank you for that question. I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to thank my guardian angel John for being present. I want to thank all of you for your questions, your curiosities. Remember tomorrow morning to take some time to just open your eyes and just let your awareness reach out. Don't think about things. Just be aware of your connection to the whole world before you let your thinking mind capture you and imprison you in it again for a whole day. Learn to remember feeling free. Remember that, because it's your true nature is being free. If you want to support these messages, you can please go to my Patreon page and become a Patreon member supporter. By the way, patrons, the new video from yesterday's event is now up on the Patreon page, so you can go watch the Patreon only. That was the Healing Feeling event with Archangel Raphael, which was what a delight. We had such wonderful energy there. So I invite my patrons to go see that video now. Patreon.com/William Michael Forbes if you want to also sign up and become a patron. And again, much love to everybody. Have a wonderful, a joyful day. I will see you on Wednesday. Bye for now.